Okay guys, so today on Big House Sport, we are here for the NFL Draft. It is the big day, the Super Bowl for all the GMs of the league. Now, I am here with Zaarne. You would have seen him in other challenge videos. Okay, so before we get into the draft though, you might be wondering, I'm wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey with Desi Bryant on the back. And old mate Zaarne over here is wearing New York Giants jersey with Odell Beckham Jr. on his back. Now, he is obsessed with Odell Beckham Jr. So it's no surprise, and I love Desi Bryant. But I'm actually a Detroit Lions fan. I'm hoping for Taylor Decker in this draft, the OT out of Ohio State. Really looking forward to this. We're not until pick 16, but you know I think that we'll get someone pretty quality in 16. What about you, Zaarne? Who do you support? Who do you reckon you'll get?
I'm a New Orleans Saints fan, and out of this draft, I'd like to see us take Miles Jack, the linebacker. But I feel like we're going to turn and take a defensive tackle. We're going to take Sheldon Rankins, I think, personally. But, you never know with these things. Everything changes all the time.
Yeah, I personally think Miles Jack will drop till 12th, and I do think the Saints will get him. But they'll be very lucky if they do. This draft is very hard to pick. There are a lot of players that really could go anywhere, and a lot of players that suit different teams. To be honest, you guys know, in drafts, you just never know who's going to go where. We kind of have an understanding that the top two picks are going to be Jared Goff or Carson Wentz. But besides that, it's really open to the board. And even with those top two picks, we don't know if Goff will go to the Rams or the Eagles, and we don't know if Wentz will go to the Rams or the Eagles. So a lot to be decided soon. So just before the draft starts, we're going to actually do our mock draft. We're not going to explain our picks. We're going to explain that in the time period, the 10-minute time period that the teams do get. Now, the draft for us is starting in about 17 minutes and 50 seconds. So let's get into this. First pick, Zaarne, who have you got?
I've got Jared Goff.
All right, I have also got Jared Goff for the Rams. Now, 2. Who have you gone with, Zaarne?
Carson Wentz, number 2.
Carson Wentz, same with me. I think we all pretty much knew the first two, like I said before, so there's no real surprises there. Who have you gone for your third pick?
For my third pick, I have Ronnie Stanley, the offensive tackle at Notre Dame.
And for me, I've gone with Laramie Tunsil. He is out of Ole Miss. And he's an LT, so I think he'll be pretty high up in the list. Next on, we've got pick 4. Who have you gone with, Zaarne?
I've gone with Ezekiel Elliott, the running back out of Ohio State.
And I've gone with Joey Bosa, the DE out of Ohio State as well. There is a lot of players coming out of Ohio State in the top 20, even the top 10 this year. Yeah. So there's 2 Ohio State, so it's looking pretty good for their university. Okay, now we're up to 5, halfway through our top 10. Who have you gone for number 5?
I've gone with Jalen Ramsey out of Florida State.
Yep, I've also gone with Jalen Ramsey out of Florida State as well. I think he's going to be a quality pick up there. And a lot of teams are actually thinking about trading up to possibly get Jalen Ramsey as a certain out of 3 and 4. Obviously, the Chargers and the Cowboys have 3 and 4. So a lot of teams are trying to trade up just in case the Cowboys or Chargers take that little step to get Jalen Ramsey instead of obviously the plays that we've said. Number 6, who have you gone for? This is the Baltimore Ravens pick.
I've gone for Laramie Tunsil out of Ole Miss, the offensive tackle.
And this is where I've gone Ronnie Stanley out of Notre Dame. Close to the end now. Number 7, who have you got, Zaarne?
DeForest Buckner out of Oregon, the defensive end.
Yes, I've also gone with DeForest Buckner in 7th for the San Francisco 49ers. We will discuss a little bit later about their quarterback situation, but for now, yes, we've both gone DeForest Buckner. Number 8, Cleveland Browns pick. Who are you going with?
I've gone with Joey Bosa, the defensive end out of Ohio State.
And I've gone with Ezekiel Elliott. If Ezekiel Elliott falls to the Browns, there's no way that they're not going to pick him. Yeah. So I definitely think, and this is a great pickup for the Browns. They need a star player. Okay, number 9. Who have you gone with, Zaarne?
I've gone with Leonard Floyd out of Georgia, the linebacker.
And I've gone with Vernon Hargreaves, the Florida cornerback. Lastly, we've got pick 10 in our mock draft. Who are you going with for the last pick, Zaarne?
I've gone with Jack Conklin out of Michigan State, the offensive tackle.
And I have gone for a very wild pick here. I think that the Giants are going to get a backup for Odell Beckham in the wide receiver, and that is Laquan Treadwell. He is the wide receiver out of Ole Miss, and we'll discuss that obviously a bit later. But it's time for the draft. Let's get into it. 10 seconds till the draft!
Start the season.
The Troy Lions, we're not getting off to a 0-6 start this season. Well, anyway, guys, it is now time for the first pick for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to get used to saying the Los Angeles Rams, obviously, because it's changed in the off-season. Here we go, guys. I'm excited. The Rams are on the clock. Now, let's talk a little bit about Jared Goff. Now, the Rams actually traded up from pick 15 to get this number 1 pick. Now, Zaarne, do you reckon it was worth it?
Jared Goff, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. He has some great accuracy. His arm power is incredible. I reckon he's really going to help out their offense.
I reckon he's really, he likes to manoeuvre the pocket really well too. He's very quick on his feet.
Yeah, his footwork.
And I definitely think that he is something that the Rams can look to in the future. They haven't been doing too well of late. Besides that, they really can start a new franchise with this Los Angeles name now, and they can really start something brand new and fresh with this quarterback who can they can really build this team around. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the Rams do choose him.
With the first pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Goff.
Knew it. We knew it.
You knew it. So that wasn't really a surprise. Everyone kind of knew that Goff was going to go to the Rams. Now that definitely leaves Wentz to go to the Eagles. If Wentz doesn't go to the Eagles, then that will be a huge, huge surprise. But yes, no surprises as yet. Goff to the Rams. Now with Jared Goff going to the Rams, we're straight on to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Eagles originally had pick 13 and traded up to number 2, obviously to get a quarterback. This is going to Carson Wentz, surely. Do you reckon this is pretty much a sure done deal?
Yeah, it's been a done deal since they traded up, pretty much, I reckon. Carson Wentz, Eagles, they need a quarterback. They need someone to make a difference to that team.
Well, obviously they've got Sam Bradford, but in recent news, he's actually requested a trade, so he must know something behind the scenes. Obviously, everyone's talking about it outside of the football club and the fans and everything, but Bradford must know something if he's requesting a trade from the Eagles. Now, Bradford's a great player, but I do think that Wentz is the best quarterback in this draft. I know that you disagree, but I think that he is just an unbelievable. He's very similar to Cam Newton, the way that he is a good runner with the ball, and he's exceptionally like Cam Newton. In the highlights video that I've got on this channel, you go and check that out. His highlights just remind me of the Carolina Panthers quarterback. So yeah, I think it's a done deal.
With the second pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Carson Wentz.
Obviously. Of course it's Carson Wentz. He's the best quarterback in the draft.
Dreaming.
Best quarterback in the draft.
Dreaming.
So now that we've seen Carson Wentz has gone to the Philadelphia Eagles, the top 2 picks have been in, and we're both 100% right now. I think everyone's pretty much 100%. Goff definitely suits the Rams better, and Wentz definitely suits the Eagles better. Bradford's going to be absolutely spewing right now. I definitely agree with this, and they'll be a good team in a few years' time. But he probably won't get the starting role straight away. That's the thing. Depends on what happens with Bradford. Wentz isn't as mature enough to start right now because he hasn't had the same amount of professional experience that Goff has had. But he will be in a few years' time, and I do think that he'll be a really quality quarterback. Okay, now first 2 picks are out of the way. Let's go to number 3, and that is the San Diego Chargers. Who have you gone against on?
I went Ronnie Stanley for number 3.
And I've gone Laramie Tunsil. Now the Chargers were winless in the AFC West last season, which is pretty huge to think about. Physicality is key on both sides of the football for the Chargers. Their defense was just shocking, but they really need to replace Eric Weddle as a safety. But they have quite a few different needs in their team. They have quite a few things. So it's hard to choose one specific position. Why have you gone with Ronnie Stanley, Zaarne?
He's an absolute gun when I look at him. He's just going to help give more time in the pocket, which will let players develop more. And also with the run game, he's going to help with the run game, which will help open up holes and pockets for the running back.
I've gone with Laramie Tunsil in the 3s, another offensive tackle as well out of Ole Miss. Now, I think he is one of the most athletically and physically best built offensive linemen in the draft class. Look, it will upgrade them at left tackle, which is desperately needed, and like Zaarne was saying, it'll really free up that run game a lot better. But the thing is that they could potentially wait until the third round to get a player like Christian Westerman. Now, Christian Westerman is from Arizona State. He's a quality player too, but he won't go until the third round. They might get the opportunity to snatch him up then, and that would mean that probably DeForest Buckner goes to the San Diego Chargers, and he's obviously the defensive end out of Ohio State. So there's a lot of tossing and turning here. A team could go for the opportunity to take this pick and do a trade, but I think they should be really going for Laramie Tunsil. Yes.
With the third pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Joey Bosa.
Wow!
I had him going at 8.
He's defensive end. I had him going at 8.
That is a surprise. That has just completely thrown my picks apart. I had Joey Bosa going at 4th, the Dallas Cowboys.
I had him going to the Browns.
I am genuinely in shock. That is an absolutely outstanding pick. Don't get me wrong, but that is a genuine surprise. Now, Joey Bosa, I reckon Dallas are going to be spewing. I reckon Dallas are going to be absolutely kicking themselves that they didn't jump up to that third pick to try and get Joey Bosa. But this does leave Jalen Ramsey still. That's a lot. That's what the Jaguars want. Jaguars want Jalen Ramsey, and they were thinking about trading up for the third pick to get Jalen Ramsey. But I'm still in shock zone. So Joey Bosa number 3. That's a huge surprise. 6'5", 269 pounds. Look, you can't deny this is a great pick for him. Now, with that shock out of the way, let's go to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is the team that I'm supporting for this, obviously, the top 10 draft, because my team's not until 16. Now, I went with Joey Bosa. Funnily enough, he's just gone and picked 3, so that throws me out of everything. Look, Jerry Jones has traded their first round pick 18 times since 1990, which is quite big. Now, don't be surprised with a trade, but I personally think that defensive end is their real critical area that they need to get. That's why I thought that Joey Bosa was going to go to the Cowboys. I think that pushes DeForest Buckner from 7th in my picks down to 4th for the Cowboys. So I think DeForest Buckner is going to be going to the Cowboys. What do you think?
Blaze, I actually agree with you there. I was just looking at some of the depth charts of the new signings for the Cowboys. They signed out from Marsh, which is their running back, so it really weighs up. I'm agreeing with you on this one.
But you did originally say Ezekiel Elliott, so
I did say Ezekiel Elliott. I agree with that one.
So yeah, you've obviously done some research and realised that they've got Darren McFadden and they've just recently signed Alfred Morris. So they're not really in desperate need for a running back. But yes, defensive end is a necessity. They also might want to grow a quarterback, but they can maybe leave that for a little bit later in the draft, maybe round 2, yeah.
With the 4th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Ezekiel Elliott.
It makes no sense. They've gone Ezekiel Elliott, but they've got Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden. Now, I understand that Ezekiel Elliott is an absolutely outstanding running back. Now, the Browns are going to be spewing that Ezekiel Elliott has gone right now, but why? You've got Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden. You've got enough players there. I get that Ezekiel Elliott will grow into the role, but
I should have stuck with my pick.
you should have
stuck with my pick.
You should have stuck with your pick. Now on to the 5th pick. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now I and Zaarne have both gone with Jalen Ramsey here, the quarterback out of Florida State. You can't pass him up here, I don't think. What do you think of Jalen Ramsey going to the Jaguars here?
Well, I think it's definitely something they need. They definitely need a defensive player to help stop the pass, and just watching him play, he's a great player. He's a great athlete. He's very athletic, and he hits very, very hard.
Well, yeah, look, he is exceptional player, and there's a surprise that he's even not even in the top 3. A lot of people were tipping him to go in the 3rd at the Chargers, but obviously he dropped back a bit. But the question is, a lot of people say, is a safety or is a quarterback, but safety worth a top 5 or top 10 pick? And I simply think Jalen Ramsey, yes he is. He is an absolutely exceptional player. It will be a playmate for the Jags, and that is something that the Jags really need. They've got obviously a quality quarterback in Blake Bortles, and he'll be up and coming. They've got a good offensive lineup, but they really need to do something about that defense.
The Jacksonville Jaguars select Jalen Ramsey. Defensive back.
Jalen Ramsey, you knew it was happening.
It was coming. It was coming.
So obviously Jalen Ramsey just went, and that was just a no-brainer. Jalen Ramsey to even drop out of the top 4 was pretty huge. He should have really been in the 3rd pick, but he dropped down to 5. Now, Zaarne, what do you reckon Jalen Ramsey will bring to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Do you think he'll be a quality signing in years to come? Or?
They need to step up in defense. They need someone who's going to bring energy to the team. They need someone who's going to be playing hard, you know what I mean? It's a really good pick.
Yeah, well, he's someone who's really going to put his whole heart and soul into this Jaguars franchise, and all the fans wanted him before. But yes, it would have been a huge shock if David Caldwell didn't select him in the 5th pick. He loves the franchise loves him. All the fans were talking about it before the draft started, so it would have been a huge shock. So it is really good to see Jalen Ramsey go to the Jaguars in the 5th pick. Now we're down to pick 6, and this is the Baltimore Ravens pick. Now last season, Terrell Suggs was the real massive reason why they didn't perform. The loss of him to the ACL, which absolutely destroyed the defense. So he'll be back this season. Will he get back to his best? That's something that remains to be seen. But I'm going with Ronnie Stanley, the offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. I think he'll be a great player. Who have you gone with, Zaarne?
Well, I initially had Laramie Tunsil, but since Ronnie Stanley is still here, I think he's going to go there. I think since he's still in this draft, he has fallen a few spots from where I had him. I personally think he's going to go to the Ravens.
Well, look, yeah, they can't pass Ronnie Stanley if he's still here, and yeah, he is still here. Eugene Monroe is pretty unreliable in this position, so they really need to shore up the offensive tackle. Joe Flacco has also just come off obviously a season-ending injury, so they really need to create a solid offensive line to really protect him.
In the 2016 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Ronnie Stanley.
We called that Ronnie Stanley goes to the Baltimore Ravens. You kind of knew it was going to happen. He's dropped this far, you can't say no to him. Yeah. If he had dropped even further, that would have been really scaring other teams because they'd be wondering why is this player not getting picked. But yes, Ronnie Stanley off to the Ravens. Now let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers with the 7th pick. I have gone DeForest Buckner here. I started out from the beginning with DeForest Buckner here, and he's a defensive end out of Oregon. I definitely think he is the man for the 49ers. But just quickly, I will mention that quarterback at the 49ers isn't exactly a sure thing at the moment. Kaepernick obviously is going through a bit of a tough time. We don't know what's happening with Colin Kaepernick, and they really need to decide what's happening. They could potentially pick up a quarterback in a later round, though.
Yeah. You wouldn't go for one now.
You wouldn't go for one now, I agree. So yeah, I would definitely go for DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, I have the exact same pick as you, Blaze. I've got DeForest Buckner.
I am Odell.
Who are the
I am Odell.
You are dreaming.
I am Odell. Look at these hands. These hands. Unbelievable.
With the 7th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select DeForest Buckner.
Unbelievable. There we have it. DeForest Buckner. We picked it again. We picked it from the start, actually, so that one hasn't really moved at all. How do you think this will impact the 49ers squad?
Well, definitely improves their defense. Definitely improves the defense they have. Defensive line that's coming around. It's definitely going to apply pressure to the opposition's quarterback and hopefully stop the run game, because the 49ers they lacked a lot of everything last season. It's just nothing really went wrong.
So with Conklin, great signing, but let's move on to now. And now,
another trade.
There's another trade. The Bears have traded up from pick 11 to pick 9 with the Bucks. So this is really gone wild.
Here we go. Gave away so they got the 11th pick in the 4th rounder. So they didn't give up too much really for the pick. You know, I think clearly Bears saw something they wanted and they were worried they weren't going to get it all.
Now with this trade, it really is confusing, but I personally feel that Leonard Floyd, the offensive linebacker from Georgia, is going to take up this role for the Bears. I had Leonard Floyd here in 11th for the Bears anyway. But yeah, I think this will be a quality signing. Now, just before I explain that, who do you reckon is going to be, and why do you think?
Well, I have them taking Vernon Hargraves at 11. but I feel like maybe they found out something, like someone was planning to take him early, so they traded up. So I still think they're going to take Vernon Hunt.
So our camera has just died. We're about to put the pick in for the Chicago Bears, but I decided to put it on this on the phone so that you don't miss out our reaction, and we can discuss it a bit as well while the camera charges. So here we go. The pick is in.
2016 NFL Draft. The Chicago Bears select Leonard Floyd.
I got it. I did call it. I did call it. Now, I did get it right. It is Leonard Floyd, the linebacker out of Georgia. 6'5", 244 pounds. Look, that is a big. That is a big player.
That is a big player.
He's got he
It's funny. He's a big player, but he's so explosive and he's nice.
Yeah, exactly. He's just an explosive time player, and I think that this will really be a real boost for the Chicago Bears. They do need a lot. Now we're lastly at pick number 10. Now we're back. Yes, you would have seen us on the phone before. Cameras charged. Who have you gone for with the New York Giants? Now they allowed a league high 420.3 yards a game in 2015. So put that in mind. But who are you going for?
Well, I originally had Leonard Floyd, but he just went. So I'm looking at, I don't really know, I'm thinking maybe Miles Jack, but you can hear them saying the discussion about his knee, so medical isn't possibly an issue. Honestly, I'm looking at Sheldon Rankins, a defensive tackle, to help out that defensive line.
Now, I would be going for an offensive tackle for the Giants, and that would be Laramie Tunsil. But obviously, you would have heard recently of today where Laramie Tunsil's Twitter actually got hacked, and someone posted a video on his Twitter of him smoking marijuana. Now, obviously, this is not allowed, and that's why he's in a free fall. I originally had him in third until I heard about this. Now I can understand why he's still dropping. Now, it'll be a surprise, and it's a big thing to pass him up because he's a quality player. However, I'm going to go with Laramie Tunsil. It's a big call to make. If they need an offensive tackle, and he is the best offensive tackle that's really still in that's still in the mix. But it just means that they have to watch his substance abuse, which is a huge thing.
2016 NFL Draft. The New York Giants select Eli Apple.
Eli Apple?
Wow. Wow, I had him going. I didn't go to 25 for Steelers.
Okay, so Eli Apple, the cornerback out of OSU. Now, that is a big surprise. They do need a quarterback, so cornerback, get that right, Blaze, come on. But yes, Eli Apple is a quality player. Where did you have him in your top 31, sorry?
My mock draft, I didn't go in 25th pick to the Steelers.
Okay, well that is it for the top 10 draft picks in this NFL draft. It has been an exciting top 10 picks, and there has been quite a few surprises. Yeah. Eli Apple, big surprise. I would have thought Vernon Hargreaves would have probably got there. Larry Tunsil's just free falling. He'll be surprised to even make one of the top 20, even top 30, to be honest, now after that substance abuse. I just went for a little bit of a wild shot. Anyway, thank you to Zaarne for the New Orleans Saints. Even though he's got a Giants, we just decided to wear something of the top 10 teams today. Now, if you did like the video, please give it a big thumbs up so that I know that you enjoyed this kind of thing. I'll be doing a lot of these videos, and I'll be doing a lot of discussion type topics. I also do vlogs, and there's the vlog coming on Monday after the Titans game, Gold Coast Titans vs Melbourne Storm, and there's also going to be Thursday challenge time that's going to be returning every Thursday. So this is all about sports. If you do enjoy a bit of sport, any sport, then do give us a big subscribe. You'll be seeing a lot of sport action. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the NFL this season. Plenty of stuff to come. Hope you enjoy. See ya.